Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I'm going to be recommending you books based on my botanical oracle deck by For Strange Women. So this is my absolute favorite oracle deck because it's flipping gorgeous. It was not cheap, that's for sure. I am just trying to get my little pamphlet out here because I'm still actually getting to know this deck. It's my newest deck, and so it comes with this little pamphlet that gives you a little bit of an explanation of like what the artist meant when making each of these cards in terms of what the cards mean, but obviously you take your own interpretation into interpretation.
What do you say?
These cards are really beautiful. I love oracle cards. I love oracle decks. I like tarot cards. I'm just into all that stuff. But these cards are beautiful. I will have the deck linked down below for anyone interested. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. I just really like these cards, and the edges here are gilded as well. Like I said, it's not a cheap deck, but it's the highest quality deck I own. And it's just gorgeous. I've done one video like this in the past. I used my Woodland Warden's Oracle deck for that one. I'll have that linked down below in the description. But basically, I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle these cards, and I'll pull them as I feel fit or right or whatnot.
I don't expect everybody to understand.
And then I will recommend a book based on those cards. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you want more content, and if you want more content like this, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and you can comment down below and let me know, do you guys like oracle decks or oracle cards or tarot decks, tarot cards? Don't forget to click the like button, and if you are interested in following me on social media, all of my social media is linked down below in the description. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to pulling here. You aren't going to be able to see, like, but I'm just shuffling. Yeah, I don't have it set up right now where you can like fully watch like my hands and like close up or whatever, but not that there's any way for me to cheat this anyway. I'm literally just pulling and recommending, so y'all can just trust that that's what's happening.
Trust that I can trust you telling me that I can trust you.
And what I feel, oh, like here, this just kind of popped out at me, and this is the Rose card. So you can see it right there. Beautiful, beautiful card. When I look at my For Strange Women botanical oracle interpretation cards, whatever, it says here the rose has traditional associations with romance or the beginning of a romantic relationship, which totally makes sense. That's what I think of when I look at this anyway, especially the colors are like a deep mauve. But you also see a lot of spikes. So you see all of those thorns. So honestly, when I'm looking at this, I think of like a super dark romance. It also looks a little bit fantastical and whimsical because when I think of vines and the way this is drawn with the vines, I think like vines make me think like fantastical. I don't know why, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and recommend Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton for this one. This is the first book in a fantasy romance, and Fortuna is a nightmare, and she ends up basically being visited by a fae king one day because her brother's been missing for a while now, and he lets her know that he knows where her brother is, but he won't tell her unless she marries him. So this nightmare ends up going and getting married to the unseelie king, and adventures and craziness ensue from there. It is a dark fantasy romance, and as such, I think it's just perfect for this thorny rose card. I have read the first two books in the series. I'm looking forward to continuing on with the third one. There's 4 out so far, but I think it's gonna be I'm not sure, 6-book series? Don't quote me on it. But also, I just think that even the colors like match really beautifully with this card. So continuing on, I'm just going to keep shuffling until I can pick another card, and something will pop out at me, and Hopefully it's a good one and not like something that I can't think of anything for, but I don't think it'll be a problem. Moth. Moth. First thing that comes to mind is like Mothman. Message from ancestors or spiritual guides may also refer to someone who is an air sign. Okay, this might be a bit of a stretch here, but it works, especially if you look at the back cover here at this woman floating in air. So this is about a moth represent a guide and specifically someone who might be an air sign. And here you see this woman floating, and this is The Carrow Haunt by Darcy Coates. This is a horror, or some people will refer, some people might refer to this as a cozy horror. It's a haunted house story about our main character, Remy, who is a guide. She is a tour guide, and she believes in the spirits here at this haunted house. And she just basically, she runs this tour at this haunted house called the Carrow House, and she ends up being approached by this guy who wants to basically spend a couple weeks there researching the house and getting these different spiritual researchers, these professionals in the like ghost hunting field or whatnot, to get together and investigate this house further. And so she signs up to do so, and things go awry during their stay at the Carrow House. I think this is kind of perfect for Moth because, like I said, there are spirits, there is a guide, and on the cover we have our woman floating in air. So I think that this is awesome. I also gave this book 5 stars. I cannot wait to read more Darcy Coates because I really enjoyed this book. So I actually have recently picked up a few more of her books, and I can't wait to read them. Okay, continuing on with my shuffling. I honestly, at first I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to come up with anything for a moth, but that actually worked out really well. I think this is one of the funnest videos for me to film. And I do try to pick books that I already have on my shelves so that I don't have to edit in a bunch of PDFs, because that can be kind of like a lot sometimes. But I think I just get to play. Okay, so right now I just picked Jade Orchid. Beautiful. And the Jade Orchid represents new beginnings, positive change, optimism, and it could represent a younger woman. For the Jade Orchid card, I'm going to recommend The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This is about our main character who wants a new beginning as a nanny. She's been working at this like childcare place, and she wants a new start. She wants to make more money, and she decides to apply for this job at this smart house where it looks like they're offering a good amount of money, and she's really surprised with the amount of pay and the benefits that come with this job. And so she goes to interview, and she ends up getting the job. Very early on in the book, you see that she is hit on by the dad in the story, the owner of the estate. And she basically is worried that he wants her to be like the younger woman. And that happens earlier on. I don't think that's a spoiler. So I just think this is probably a pretty fitting recommendation for a new beginning with a younger woman. I already read this. I really enjoyed it. It is a gothic thriller, and I think I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I've got Frozen Lilacs here. And Frozen Lilacs represent partnership, marriage, and commitment. So for Frozen Lilacs, I'm going to recommend Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling that is set in Eastern Europe, and it is super cold, and there are these beings that are like fairy-esque, elf-esque, that are like ice magical. And we also have our main character, Miriam, who she gets a reputation for basically turning silver into gold. In other words, she's really good with money and she takes over her father's lending business. And so this story is about her and this king of the ice fae or ice elves. And he has her completing these tasks and he lets her know that if she does, then he's going to be stuck marrying her, basically. So I think this is perfect. There's actually a few different retellings told in this story because we do follow multiple plot lines. This is a multi-POV story. There's multiple plot lines going on, multiple romances actually too. And so I think this is perfect for Frozen Lilacs between the frozen and the romance elements. I really liked the writing in that story as well. I think that Naomi Novik did a really good job with that. And if you're interested, we did discuss that book on a Femmes Afictionados live show. That was one of our book club picks. So I will have that live show linked down below. Bird's Nest. That's a pretty one. So for Bird's Nest, we have home, stability, living space. Okay, so for this, I'm going to recommend Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. And that is because in this story, we follow Viv, who is an orc, and she's kind of sick of the adventure and the violence of her day-to-day life. And she just wants to settle down. She wants to open up a coffee shop and just kind of live a simpler life. And so that's what she does. So she starts to build a coffee shop. In this, she starts to kind of build her living space within this coffee shop and building a family, a found family of friends and coworkers. And it's just a really beautiful, cozy fantasy. I'm sure that you've heard of it if you've been around BookTube for at all in the last year, because it's been all over. But this was really beautiful. This was a very beautiful story about finding your home, finding your family, and it was just cozy and beautiful, and I think it's perfect for the Bird's Nest card. I'm going to do one more here. Okay, so I got how fitting, I got the library. So this card, Society, Media, Information, Knowledge, Research. Okay, so I'm not sure if this really counts because I have not read this book, but it was screaming at me from the shelves. It's on my TBR, like I want to read this soon if I can, but I just felt like I couldn't not pick this book for this card, and that's Babble by R.F. Kuang. So I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis for this. 1828, Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by a mysterious Professor Lavelle. There, Robin trains for years in Latin, ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babble. The tower and its students are the world's center for translation and, more importantly, magic, silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power as the arcane craft serves the Empire's quest for colonization. For Robin, Oxford is a utopia dedicated to pursuit of knowledge, but knowledge obeys power, and as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, he realizes serving Babel means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide. I mean, how perfect is that, right? I had to pick this one. Like I said, I haven't read it yet, so I can't tell you my thoughts and feelings on it. It just seemed so fitting. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video. If you guys want me to do this more often, I will definitely. I love it. I have multiple decks that I can use. I can also use still this deck or the Woodland Wardens, which I've used before. If you like videos like this, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and also please click the like button as well. Comment down below and let me know what would you guys have recommended for these cards. If you want to follow me on social media, all of my links are down below in the description, including my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.